Hi everyone, welcome to the fourth session of DCKAP Integrator Foundation series. So today we'll be talking about how we can add API in DCKAP Integrator. But before that, I would like to give you a brief like what we did in the last session. So just a quick recap. Last time we have discussed how we can set up the private system. We have gone through the API basics. We saw the credential screen and how we can manage our credentials and the test connection and the health checker. So today we'll go one step deeper. So we'll be discussing like how you can take API from the system documentation and you can put it in the DCKAP integrator. You can basically integrate your system with DCKAP integrator. Also, you will you learn how to use get API to fetch data and post API to send data. And yes, you learn how to test your API within DCKAP integrator and check there and then only the results. So without wasting time, let's get started. So this is just a overall picture. So I want to bring your focus here because the very first step we already covered. We registered our system. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, just watch the previous session. It's there in the DCKAP learning elements. So first step is to register your system in DCKAP integrator. So today we'll be doing the next step. Now we'll connect that system with the DCKAP integrator with the help of API. So here you'll see this system. So just imagine this is like the system we have registered. Okay, and this is DCKAP integrator. Today we'll be adding API. So same thing we'll do with the system too. Okay, whenever we do this, it will complete the loop and data can move from one place or one system to another system. But here is the point. There is no limitation to the system number. You can connect multiple systems. So it can be your ERP, it can be CRM, it can be payment, e-commerce or marketplaces. Now coming to the DCKAP integrator. So I hope you are familiar with the interface now. So this is the credential page. So it looks like this, right? So last time we have discussed this. So coming to DCKAP integrator. So here you'll see public API and private API. So remember here, I'm telling you in the context of DCKAP integrator. So what does that mean? Now we'll see that. So public API, these are the ready-made API that DCKAP integrator admin has already added in the product itself. Okay, it's like, ready to cook noodles. So let's say you just need to add a cup of hot water and it's ready to eat. So that way. So I'll show you how you can locate that. So here you'll see this. This is the Shopify system we worked on in the last session. So here, this is the system page. Actually, when we click on edit system, see, I'll take you again. So I am in the project. Now I am in the system page. This is the system. Now I'll click on edit system. So this page will come. Okay. So here you'll see API. So when we click on view all, you'll see the API manager. So this screen is API manager. Here also it is mentioned. So you can see here, it's a ready-made API. That's why we are saying public API. So here everything is given. You can even see the note here. Public API are editable only for testing purpose. If you refresh the page, changes will not be persisted. So this is a ready-made API. Okay. So this is the case of Shopify. Now I'll show you the BigCommerce. So this is also one of the project we took in earlier session. So this is a big commerce, and you'll see here couple of public APIs are listed. So why you get public APIs here and the number vary. So this is because when you look at the documentation, so I'll show you for the Shopify. So this is the Shopify documentation. Here you'll see, this documentation is having so many hundreds, even thousands of API listed. Okay, but it is not possible for the admin to list every API in the list. Okay, to overcome that, so only you'll get here only those APIs that are normally readily used by the users on day-to-day basis. So those APIs are listed here, and you'll see, you can use it. Coming to the private API. So let's say if you want to use any API that you cannot see in the list or ready-made options, in that case, you need to create the private API. So here, I can only see get all customer. This is the public API. Now, let's say if I want to get all product count, in those type of scenarios, I'll go for this option. So here you'll see we need to build everything from the scratch. So it's like, you want to eat noodles, but, ready to cook thing is not available. So in that case, to match that taste, you need to manually do that. So in this case, it is the similar thing. And you'll see here, you can differentiate between public and private API. Also, color coding is also there. So for public, it's purple. For private, it's orange brown. And let's see this screen. So this is the API manager screen where you configure your API, add your API, or maintain your API, delete your API, like that. So here you'll see, so this is the API name here at the top. Okay, in case of private API, you need to give the name. And here you'll see the status. See here, in case of private, you have flexibility to put it off or on, like that. So today we'll be working on this configuration screen. In this configuration screen, I'm sorry. So here you'll see the request method. Okay, get, post, put, delete, patch. And this is where we used to give relative URL or endpoint. And these are param, header, body, test details. So params are like, these are like, we used to give specific instruction to the API that we need to fetch data, this data. So for those type of things, we use param. Header, as I explained in the last session also, header is like, it will authenticate who you are, whether you need to be given access or not. So so when you register your system, you used to select authentication type. So that is directly linked with the header. And body. So body for post and put request, we used to use body. For get request, we don't use body. And test details, so let's say you have set up everything. You have given information in all these fields. Now you want to test whether this API is working or not, or if there is any glitch in between that you need to take care. So definitely you can test here. We'll see that in this session. So first, I'll be starting with the public API. So if you have any questions, any doubts, just use the chat button. You can post your queries there, and we can take that in Q&A part. So here you'll see I want to retrieve all the customers from Shopify account. Okay, I'll close this so that will remove confusion. So get all customers. So I'm using get because I want to retrieve all the customer data. So already the API is, I mean, in the request method, I selected get, and here URL I have already given. So actually it's given already by the integrator itself. So params, I'll show you later how we can use that. In the header, so because it's a ready-made API, so everything is listed. So body we don't need to give here because it's a get request. And in the test details, you'll see two options here. So meaning is that, let's say, if you want to use the credential, that's why I told you, I showed you the screen, in the beginning of session. So credentials are very important when you want to test your API. So you can use those credentials which you already saved, or you can use the direct value. I'll show you. So I have already saved these credentials. Okay, but let's say if I want to go with a direct value, I can give these details. So I'll show you the use credential option today. So here so when I click here, so this test option, test button also gets activated, and you will see here, I'll get the data and the status code. So that's how this works. But let's say, so this is about like how we can get all the customers, okay, get the data of all the customers in the store, um, application store. Now let's say, now I'll tell you how we can use the params. So let's say I want to look for specific ID in the store. So what I'll do is in the key, I'll type IDs and value I'll give here. So let's say this is the value. Okay. Now we'll go to the test connection label. You can leave it for this thing. Okay. So right now I have not clicked on test button. Okay. So I'll show you the change. So here you'll see these many rows. 1759 rows. Okay. Now because I have given the param, I want to look for a specific ID. So now I'll click on the test button and you'll see we got the result and this is the ID. So let's match it. Okay. And here you'll see only 77 rows. So that means we filtered that particular ID and we got that particular data which we were looking for. So for these type of things, we use params. Also, this is one way, and also in the relative URL, we can also give that specific request. We have discussed this. You remember this? So endpoint, it's a complete URL with the host name and relative URL. So relative URL is like the specific request. So this is about get all customers. Okay, now we'll move to the private API. So let's say I want to filter customers by date. So I'll give the name customers by date. So in the configurations section, because I want to filter that, I'm looking for the data from the Shopify. I'm retrieving that. So that's why I'll be using only get API. So here I'll be giving the link. So I'm looking for the customers that is created in the Shopify after 1st September 2025. Okay, so this is what. So here you'll see question mark is there. which indicates I'm looking for specific requests created at, after 1 September 2025. Okay, so this is another way we can give specific request. So header now we'll be giving, because we have selected basic authentication while setting up the system. So here we'll be filling it accordingly. So first I'll look for username. I'll select get from credentials, and here also username. Then password. Same thing, get from credential. Here also password. Now content type. Meaning is that we have also discussed this last time. So in what format we are sending the content? We are sending the data in. So that is what content type is about. So here we'll be selecting application/JSON because we are sending data in JSON format. So same thing, I'll just copy and paste it. And then accept, meaning in what format we accept the data. So we should speak same language, no? That's why these two options are there. So here we'll be selecting application/JSON only and accept. So this is about the header because it's get request, so we are not using bot. And now we'll check the test details. We'll be using credentials only. And let's see. So we got the data. So here you'll see this is created on 25th of September. So we got data like, so this is like we are filtering as per our needs. So this is that case. Now the next case is we'll be using the Shopify documentation, and we'll retrieve the total product count. So let's say here I'm typing product count. I want to check like what is the total count of product in this store. So for that purpose, I'll be using this API. So now this is the REST API document of Shopify. What I need to do is I need to go to the product. Okay. And here you'll see retrieve product. Okay. So here you have this. With the get request, you have the link here. So now we'll just add it over here. So this is specific thing system. Yeah, so I'm sorry, that one by mistake I copied. So this URL here, you can even read the URL products counts. So this one will copy and we'll paste it here. So now again, we need to give the header. Same thing, we'll do username. Here also password. Content type. So I'm just quickly entering these details because we have discussed this already. Okay. Also, this is a get request, so we don't need body. Now I'll use the credentials. And here you'll see the total product. Okay, so this is like how you can check the total product count in your system. Now, the next case, let's say you want to create product in your Shopify account and Shopify store. So how you can do that? In this case, we'll not use get request. Let's see. So here, create all products. I'll be naming this. Okay. So in this case, we'll be using post because whenever we want to create any new data and store, so we'll use post request. Okay. And here create all products. So I have already, saved that the URL. So I'll just put it over here. So same thing, you need to go here and look for create new product and just, copy this and paste over. So in this case, we'll give the header, same thing, username, password, same thing here, password, content type, and accept. Okay, so because this is a post request, so we need to send body in this case. So I have already the body with me. This is the hard coded value. I'll paste it here. Okay, let's say if you have error in somewhere in the body, let's say I'll do this. So you'll see here the red dot. Okay, this will tell you there is an error. And now we'll check the test details. We'll click on the test details and check with our credentials. And here you'll see the product. So that's how we use API. We can connect the system with the DCKAP integrator using these APIs. So let's say you have done all this, but you have to save all API. Otherwise, your work can be affected. So always save your APIs after you are done. So it will ask you whether you want to save all the APIs or let's say here you are also getting an option save. So when you click here, so it will save this particular API. But let's say you have, entered all the APIs and so you can always go through. You save all it. Okay. So that's how the API works. Now, the key takeaway from this session, so these are the highlights. So we have learned how we can fetch data with get API. Also, like how we can filter data using params. We saw like how we can filter by date or by giving, IDs or specific request in the params section. Also, we saw how we can create product using post API. So it is about product, but you can use it for a variety of use cases. Okay, you can create anything you want in the store. So for those purposes, we use post API. So always remember, get request method is to retrieve the data. Post is to create the data. And always save your credentials first and check it, test it, so that if error come, you'll be able to rectify it early on. Then after doing all the processing, you'll see there is an error, so it will be a mess. So always check your credentials first. Now I'll open for Q&A part. Let me know if you have any questions. Anyone? Okay. So last part is, let's say you got stuck somewhere while using DCKAP Integrator, or let's say you want to know about specific feature of DCKAP Integrator. So what you can do in that case? So you don't always need to raise a ticket, okay, and relying on the help and support. So what you can do in the product itself, there is a question mark icon, and here you'll see the DCKAP learning. Whenever you click on it, it will take you to the LMS. There are already beginner friendly courses available, and all the recordings of the webinars, the workshop sessions are also available. So you can always go through that and uh, stay curious about the product. Also, another thing is, you can definitely visit this page, look for what's new in the product, and also there is a section called must reads for manufacturer and distributor. So this is about industry related insights and some most commonly most commonly readable books that people are talking about in the industry. So you can always look at this section as well. So I'll conclude here. Thank you so much for joining.